Why deepening your soul connection is so important for 2024. My name is Eileen Burns. I'm a soul empowerment coach and spiritual business strategist. I'm also a healer and therapist. And I help awakened light workers step into their purpose with more strength and ease. I have been on my own healing and spiritual journey for over 30 years. I have studied a wide range of modalities from everything from counselling, healing, psychology, psychotherapy, all sorts of healing modalities and meditation techniques and spiritual and self-development. And one of the things that I noticed along my own path was, well, there was quite a few things I noticed, but one of the most, I suppose, things that made me, I suppose, do a lot of the things that I did was I noticed how so many people couldn't see their strongest gifts and were often very disconnected from themselves. They didn't really know themselves. And even a lot of healers and coaches and therapists that did a lot of work in themselves were still very disconnected from themselves. And one of my passions is helping people to really step into their power and really access aspects of them that they have really disconnected from. So why do I think deep soul connection and developing your soul connection is so important for 2024? So we just need to look at, for example, at least the last 4 years and see how much has shifted in humanity, and how much in relation to people having to, in many ways, question a lot of things, but question their own discernment, question their inner guidance, their intuition, and really kind of be more introspective of how clear is the channel, how intuitive are they, and how guided are they on a day-to-day basis, or how much are they distracted by the conditioning, distracted by programming, all sorts of things. We all have things that take away, like almost like scatter an energy or take away our focus. And one of the things that I really believe is really, really important is that there is going inward, but not just going inward in a very basic and a superficial way. It's going deep. It's going really, really deep. Because some of the things that I saw over the last 4 years, the healers and the coaches and therapists that I know and other people that were able to go deep in their own spiritual journey and had done certain types of work seemed to find a lot of things over the last few years and the awakening a process a lot easier, and seem to see things coming. Where, as I have to be honest, there's a lot of people I was surprised that didn't see things coming or lacked clarity or were easily hijacked. Now, we all can be hijacked by different things. And this is not a judgment, this is just an observation. And one of the things that I noticed on my own journey was just through circumstances, and I think part of my soul's contract and part of my purpose was to go down a lot of paths which led me sometimes down the garden path, if that makes sense. And I met some absolutely amazing healers and therapists, really inspirational, and people that taught me so much and ignited a passion in with me and shared a lot of knowledge. And, that I will never, I could never, how could you say, be able to pay back some of these people that helped me in many ways that they don't even realize they helped me. I also, on the other end of that, saw how much in so many types of training within the healing and the coaching and therapy industry was just scratching the surface and often teaching in a way that was not always crystal clear, that left things open maybe for perception, like, you know, the way things were taught, that it maybe left lots of people, how can you say, and having their own ideas about things and looking at things from a very more super or surface level. And one of the things that I saw was, like, I was someone, because I was extremely ill, I had lots of rare challenges, some very serious, and I was very young, and I was very trusted in many people, and gave lots of people lots of money who I discovered didn't really know that much as what sometimes they implied they did. Often I discovered that I had done more research and study and courses than they did, and delved into subjects much deeper. And a lot of it was naivety on their part and making a lot of assumptions, presumptions, and that led me down further paths in questioning. So why, you know, one example was that I used to do affirmations, visualization, meditation, and all sorts of things on a daily basis. And I've done it for 30 years. But what I mean is, at that point, I'd done it for 7 years. And I still had certain conditions. There were some things that I had improved dramatically, but there were some things that were still there. And in many ways, this is like a lot of people with very serious and chronic health challenges. I kept thinking, what was it about me? What was I not doing right? And was there something about me that wasn't enough? And in many ways, there was this aspect that I was broken. And there was this aspect of the way I was treated. I was broken, and I didn't want to get better. And I think it was very heartbreaking for my family, because my family saw me with, I was the eldest of 9, and I seemed to get almost the amount of challenges I had could have been divided more equally, let's say that, with the rest of the family. And there was a running joke in my family that, my goodness, I must have been cursed. Oh my goodness, the honest to God, the things that people would say, they would just be saying, oh no, something else. And thankfully, I had parents that did stand up for me in relation to the medical profession, because that's a whole other thing, and could see how hard I was trying. But what I understood was that there was more to a lot of things than a lot of books. And I discovered that a lot of therapists and people I work with sometimes were teaching things from a book, really hadn't studied these subjects themselves, and hadn't even treated many people with these challenges. They were just going on what they were told rather than have experienced. You know, actually had a good experience about it. But one of the even more important things was, I felt that they were very disconnected many of the times to their own purpose. And the therapists that went and that made a huge impact in my life were people that didn't ever try to prove anything worked. They didn't need to. They always looked at you and treated you as an individual from a holistic perspective. They were open-minded. And they were strong in their, how could you say, their mission, and were aligned. Those that tend to kind of try and control or the situation, or be very, try to push that their modality was the best all the time. And what I mean is that, you know, sometimes I was have situations where people were very like, this will do everything for you or whatever. And it turned out that they never had ever dealt with someone with my challenges, or didn't really have, as I said, sometimes the depth. But it was their own fear, their own lack, their own ego that was trying to prove. And sometimes I was just a guinea pig for healers or therapists, or it was just as if this would be great on their CV, that if they could help someone like me. And one of the things that I had was threatened eye loss. And that I had a situation that attracted someone that did something very dangerous for me. And that really helped me look at things more objectively in relation to that. You know, one of the things that I always was about do no harm first, and how someone's eagerness to help someone but not doing their job effectively, or not doing the right thing, or not question things enough, could lead to problems. But again, this person was actually amazing at their main modality. This is the interesting part. This person helped me greatly. And it's the only reason that I really don't call out this person, because this person had created me in enormous ways with something else. But this person brought something else into their practice, and it was not their area of expertise. And in many ways, it was the ego. It was part of the wounded healer wanting to heal me, but it was also the wounded healer just trying to sell me a product or service and not listening. So there was lots of things. That helped me, and lots of other experiences. I would go on and I'd have to learn over and over again, and have to have more and more experiences where I had to learn that every individual has their own soul's path. And of course, we can learn from other people. We can learn great things. But one of the things that we all as an individual has to have so much discernment of who we learn from, what we take on. Of course, I think in some ways we can all learn from everybody. But what I mean, in 2024, we know as awakened light workers, we know part of the unveiling is a lot of chaos, a lot of disruption, and a lot of confusion. And on a spiritual basis, all of the things that are happening on a societal level and a collective level is teaching us and guiding us to come back to ourselves, and to use the one gift or skill that we actually all have, but because of programming, conditioning, because of the things we consume, maybe mentally, emotionally, physically, and things, people digest, ingest, put into their body. People are very disconnected from their heart and their soul. And what I mean is really deeply know a core level when something's right for them, or something is not truth, or something feels really off. I'm someone that's practiced meditation for over 30 years. I'm also someone, I have to be honest, that always has had good intuition. Was encouraged by my father to use my intuition, but as an empath, very sensitive empath, I also could get very overwhelmed by other people's energy and other things in the energetic field. And one of the things that happened to me after a period with life-threatening sepsis, where I had it was like a near-death experience. That's the only way I could explain it. While I was in intensive care, and I was in an induced coma, and I had an experience that shifted me in many ways. And after that experience, I had spent many years kind of shoving down some of the experiences that I had, like more what you'd call psychically and spiritually. I had some premonitions that freaked the life out of me many years ago. And after this spiritual experience, let's say that my senses and my certain levels of, I suppose you could say, my radar was so heightened that it became, in some ways, highly intolerable, but it was forcing me to face and go down paths that I never, ever would have dreamed going down. I remember trying for years, many, many years, all sorts of flower essences that I was recommended. And then there was other people that showed me other types of things that did support me, but it still maybe wasn't strong enough. So, and I tried all sorts of things, all grounding tools till I went to different, really advanced teachers. You're talking about the teachers that many top healers go to and top international teachers go to. And and I don't say this from an ego way, I was so desperate. I was spending crazy money and most of my income seeking answers, because the answers that I got, the experience that I was getting from other people, they often did not have what they were saying, and what they were telling me to do did not match the problem and was not working. And one of the interesting things that I discovered during that period was I was starting to be more and more sensitive to the clients, or even groups that I was working in. I was picking up all sorts of things. I had a lot of experiences way back when. I remember one particular experience where many local healers started coming to me because after an attunement from another healer had some of these horrendous experiences and came to me looking for answers. And some of the experiences I was having were seeing things that had these types of healers had experienced that nobody could answer. And I was seeing a lot more things and experiencing a lot of things with a lot of healers who were supposed to be clearing their energy, was supposed to also be working at a certain level that they shouldn't have had certain things in their energy field. And I didn't know what was going on. So one of the things I started to notice was a gut level and a conscious level, I sensed that many healers were connecting to false light and false guides. And it's one of the reasons why I'm very reluctant always to ever bring certain types of healing into my work now, and use certain types of use, particularly where the person is using themselves mostly as the channel, right? But one of the things I noticed through, for example, the last 4 years was that many people who were supposedly highly intuitive and highly psychic and guided people in a certain way seemed to miss what to me seemed as crystal clear and as obvious. So one of the things that shifted with me was more confidence in my own inner guidance, my navigation system. And I started to see more clearly where it seemed to be that people were being very easily hijacked by other things, either hijacked with something psychically that may not be of the highest light, because some people don't understand, they don't know enough, they've maybe not studied enough or had enough experience working with clients. You know, once you've worked with thousands of these students and clients, there's lots of things you have all sorts of experiences. And one of the things that I noticed was this just naivety. Also, maybe a lot of shock for people, a lot of healers and therapists, when they started to realise that they missed certain things, that maybe their connection wasn't that clear or strong, or that they had been really easily hijacked by mind programming or other things that were designed to put them into fear, to manipulate them and whatever. And also a huge start of lack of trust of maybe teachers that had followed for years, and they just felt, I suppose, let down for lots of reasons. Maybe people that gave a lot of money away to, and you know, spent a lot of money and then felt that what they had invested in and taught was not matching up, if that makes, in relation to alignment and authenticity. You know, that was coming out. And you know, every single one of us are human, right? And we have to remember that none of us have got anything perfect. we all are hijacked by certain things. We all have our triggers. We all have certain woundings, and we all have blind spots. And we also can, assume things when it's not always true. We don't have the whole picture. That's not what I mean. But one of the things that I do believe that in 2024 is there's going to be, it's almost like the dial is going to go up in confusion and chaos. As at a societal level, as things are getting unveiled on the different levels of what's going on roundabout is externally. What we've got to remember that is an unveiling also within us, the shadow coming out within ourselves. And the more that we can get soul connected and connected with our own light, with our own soul essence, our own energetic blueprint, right? Our purity, all the gifts that we're here to share. And the more that you can step in and really connect with that, you have more strength and power, and you are guided at a soul level. Most people today, and we all do it, is we are so conditioned to function at the mental level. We're so conditioned to function at the 3D level that we do lots of things automatically. And we get into behavior, certain patterns. 2024 is a beautiful gift in being able to help us shift in vibration and levels of awareness and consciousness dramatically. It's a beautiful gift in 2024. But to make the most of it, we need to be able to get really soul connected. Now, I'm someone that studied all sorts of disciplines and styles of meditation for over 30 years. And there is certain tools and techniques that I believe are far more powerful than others to help people go really soul deep, right? There's a couple of tools that I use. One I use and give as a gift in my advanced stress management practitioner training. And I do have another course, which is Deep Meditation and Soul Connection Program, where I go into some strategies that can really start building that heart and soul connection. So it opens you up, right? Helps you really build a clearer connection to universal energy, right? And it also teaches you how to become a channel within yourself. Instead of being a channel for other people, as wounded healers, it's easy for the ego always want to help rescue, heal others, when at the core is first and foremost to heal ourselves. And of course, part of that process is supporting others. But there is also an element of recognizing that sometimes when you meet young, for example, people are new to the healing industry, they automatically just think that someone that has a physical condition or symptoms are the people that need healed. And they don't recognize that their own wounding, their own triggers are all aspects of healing. And there's so many layers to that. But the reality is that we're all here with important skills, experience, and insight to share with the world. And we need to come together. But it's harder to come together and to align with other people and to align with your mission, align with more strength, courage, and wisdom if you are not even aligned with your own soul, if you're not deeply connected. Often when I'm working with clients or even working in groups, the way that I see and experience energy and interpret things, it's I see it in colours, shapes, all sorts of things, and I get senses. And you know, every so often I come across clients who are very, very disconnected. They're very in their heads. They don't realize that they're very intellectual. They're sometimes very stuck. And they're actually, at their core, very spiritually disconnected. Now, there's been times at times throughout my life where I felt my connection was off or something wasn't right. And it's been for different reasons. When your connection is off, and what happens is it's almost like you just don't have clarity. You don't feel strong within yourself. You don't feel guided. I'm very lucky. Even when I've had extreme health challenges, and obviously there's other things going on there, you know, but most of the time I still have really good inner guidance, and I've just had to really work at, though, is building healthy boundaries with other people who are trying to control or impose their ideology or what they think's right for me on that. And there's a fine line when you're trying to be open to other people and look at and say, right, I do have blind spots here. And there is sometimes that balance. But in 2024, one of the most powerful things that you can do for you and your business is to get more soul connected, because that helps you become more soul aligned. And the more soul aligned that you are, the more likely that you are going to get the right information. You're going to be guided for truth, ask for divine truth, you know, all these things, you'll be guided. You're more likely to meet the right people, the right opportunities, and feel as if you're on the correct path. Feel as if you're protected spiritually. Feel as if you are where you are supposed to be. When you're out of alignment, you tend to feel more exhausted, frustrated, overwhelmed, angry, even resentful, maybe even jealous of someone else. You're in your head, you're confused, there's something interfering with your energetic field, right? And some examples of that are also people that just tend to go with the status quo and go by what they're told. They never feel, or they never seem to notice when something's off or something's off. And that creates lots of problems, because what happens is they're hijacked and they don't know what's right from wrong. They don't know what they're really here to do. And one of the biggest things that I see in the holistic and spiritual sector is a lot of people that have those challenges then over-identify with their modalities and their tools and techniques, and they hold on to it with grim teeth. It's almost like they're given the power and given over the power and all their power and energy over to the tool and the technique. And they lose themselves, they lose their own gift, their own spiritual gifts, they lose their soul connection. They lose also the ability to expand beyond limitations and other opportunities that the universe is providing them with, and also open them up to other teachings, other things that could actually expand what they're already working on. So archetypal work can all help with this, but one of the main things I would say to everyone is get into learn deep meditation practice. And I don't mean like just guided meditations, like visualizations. One of the things about visualizations, even though it can be useful for certain things, one of the things that the most powerful thing that anyone can learn to do in their life is to achieve deep, deep stillness that helps them basically slow down their thoughts and let go of their thoughts, so they can achieve deep, deep peace and stillness, so that they're connecting at a soul level, that their mind is not running the show, and that someone else is not bringing in thoughts. For example, if you just listen to guided meditations by other people, you're basically if you only do that, what you're doing is actually just letting someone else again come into your mind all the time, where they have, of course, they have their power and they can be used alongside things and can be helpful. But if you struggle to actually have a deep meditation practice where you achieve stillness and peace and a quiet, it's almost like be able to get into yourself where there's space, empty space. If you struggle with that, you tend to struggle to really be able to discern energy and what is coming from the soul and what's coming from the head, the ego, or something energetically that has a lower vibration. And that is why I believe soul connection is so important. If this is an area that you want some help, I have a great course, Deep Meditation and Soul Connection program. And considering the tools and techniques in this course and the many thousands of pounds that I've invested to learn some of the tools and techniques in many years and mastering certain things, it's extremely cost effective. And it's a course that I believe can really help deepen your ability to be calm, still. It helps expand your heart. It helps deepen your heart intelligence, but it also deepens your soul connection and helps you build a better connection with the universe so that you are more able to, I suppose, become more connected and notice the subtle shifts and changes of signs and synchronicities, little nudges that energetically that are telling you when something is maybe not great, not good. I'll give you an example. Sometimes when I'm doing things, even price points or certain things, I'll check in and I can feel even the softest shift when something should be a slightly more, slightly less, or where something is not the right title or not the right thing or something. Just that subtle shift can make a difference. You deserve to be more soul aligned. You deserve to be a clear channel for your own soul and higher guidance and what I call universal, like God's connection. We all deserve that. It's one of the most fundamental things that we all deserve to have, to be a clear channel and to be able to step fully into our power and into our purpose. So just remember, when we develop a deeper connection within ourselves, right, at that level, not from an egoic perspective that it's just about me, but from a connection that you want to get the right guidance so that you do for yourself, your family, your clients, your friends, and for the collective that you do right, and that you're not easily misled or hijacked by teachings or other things that are not for your greatest good and for greatest good of all. And of course, none of us are perfect. I'm a work in progress just like everyone else. And it's about having self-compassion for ourselves, self-love, and recognize that we're all trying to do our best. And some of the things in this process can mean actually a lot of not just learning, but unlearning of what we've been previously taught. So I'm wishing you an amazing 2024. I would love to support you become more soul aligned and soul connected. And other than some of the modules and self-study courses, I am going to be opening some space for some one-to-one support, coaching and healing and mentoring for a small number of clients this year, because I do think it's really important. I want to be there for the people that are awakened enough, who want to be the leaders, and not from an egoic perspective, but really want to help lead others into empowerment, help lead the world into a powerful change so that we can really make a difference in the world in 2024. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, Bye bye for now.